Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Good morning. Is the camera in a good spot? I think the camera's in an okay spot. Need better lighting in here. Anyways, it is Monday the 11th. Let's go over things here. No, hold on. Okay, yeah, that doesn't work anymore. Let's grab the links first. Here is the Twitch link for you guys. And here is the so you've blah blah blah. Here we go. White House advisor Conway, looks like U.S.-China are getting closer to a trade deal. Possible Trump and Xi will meet very soon. Oh boy. Just what we need. Well, we've had an okay move down today, overnight. So you can see we've come off from where we were on Friday. We didn't get anything too crazy on Friday. I think I made money on Friday, did I not? Let's just do the last week. Okay. I think if we look at the 8th, yeah, we did okay. We did okay. What was the total for last week, by the way? Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. All right. Anyways, we had a little move down, and the E-mini has taken just a small little step up. Nothing too significant, but yeah. Our Bitcoin chart is all screwed up. It is time, I believe, to... did we not roll over? Yes, I'm in February. That's not right at all. So I'm going to just reload the data. Bum, 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 ba-dum. This whole week? You mean the whole year? Oh gosh, sir, yes, right. I mean, we've made money off of the trade deal stuff, and we've lost money off of the trade deal stuff. But I think we should be on our toes today, shouldn't we? We don't have any news. It is a Monday. It is a Monday, and we do have some things going on this week. Let's hear. Chairman Powell is speaking tomorrow, and then on Thursday and Friday we have the CPI and PPI. And my phone is making sounds in the microphone. That's annoying. And it always makes me think that the CIA is listening to me. All right. We did have a quick move up and a quick move back. So we've definitely established a range here for the open. I think I'm going to wait because it is Monday. We are going to tend to be more range bound. I meant to say for the rest of the Trump administration, which could totally be 6 more years. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I would be careful about that. Because realistically, what Donald Trump does with Twitter works. You have to admit, it creates drama. People follow the Twitter. If he loses the next election and say we have a President Warren, well, she tweets things all the time, and she participates in the back and forth. And so I think that President Warren would tweet and disturb markets as well. That is the world we live in now. Kind of scary, but I'm sure that eventually the markets will learn to deal with it and maybe not get so dramatic when it happens. let's see here. So we need to get everything all set up right here. I need to make this like as small as I can. There we go. And I also need to enable the sound. Yes. Okay. And here is the Discord. And here is the YouTube. How are we gonna do this? Like that. And put TweetDeck over here on this side. There we go. Excellent. There we go. Thank you everybody for listening in. We got a good number of viewers bright and early. Okay, so here I see this was Conway saying that it looks like the US and China is getting closer to a deal, which is the exact opposite of what we were told on Friday. So, yeah. Okay. Well, Bitcoin did have that buy over the weekend. I saw that when I got into work, and I'm wondering if this is going to turn into a BART or not. And let's see if TweetDeck makes this sound for me when we get a tweet. So I would like to keep an eye on that. Definitely. Definitely here in range. Well, I believe that my... Let me think about this for a second. Yes. I believe that my bias has to be to the downside in Treasuries, but again, things are very range bound today, and yeah, I also think that the E-mini is going to come down a little bit first, maybe back to 27.14 before they open. All right, 6,000 at 07 in the 10-year. I trade through it and back up. Could be a potential long here, especially since I do see the E-mini wanting to move down. And we did open at 07. You know what, we might have to open this in Chrome. Let's just do that. Yes. Oh, it's already set up for me. In fact, is the home page. Oh, come on. Don't be like that, TweetDeck. There we go. Market needs drama and Bitcoin will go to $800. Well, that is out there. Tell me, Anthony, what makes you think that Bitcoin is going to go down to $800? And at what time frame do you see that happening? I'm still seeing below 2,000. I think maybe we might be down to 1,700 now on my indicator. It keeps going down, and when I look at the transaction data, it's not very good. Anyways, thank you for the donation, by the way. It always helps out a lot. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, I do have another video coming out this morning for the Democrat primary political analysis. I feel like I did a little bit better of a job than last time. So I didn't really push it last time because last time was kind of like the what is the word, the pilot episode. This time I used a different camera and I had a little bit better delivery, and I see some interesting things going on in the primary race. So that video will go live in 2 hours. So then when that happens, I would really like to know what you guys think of that video. Like that is something that you guys can totally be critical about, because we're looking to, we're starting out and we're looking to see what we can change. But I hope that the video quality is at least better, and the audio quality should be a little bit better as well. Although not quite as good as when I record things in here, unfortunately. Okay. So I do get the sound, but it is nothing to pay attention to. This is just Forex Live saying the New Zealand dollar is the strongest, the Japanese yen is the weakest at the start of the week. Let's see here. No news. No numbers today, so I guess I can close that. Never Trumper Eric Erickson declaring this morning that he is going to vote for Donald Trump in 2020. That one is a bit of a surprise to me. I did not see that coming. Well, we did move up. Unfortunately, by the time I saw that potential long, there was already about 6,000 traded, so I think that if I had actually bid at 07 after I said that there was a potential long there, I probably would not be filled. Anthony, with another donation. Thank you very much, dude. The purge isn't over. As long as Tether isn't over, the purge will have to continue. Have a good week, Seth. Oh, man, that's very ominous. Well, I do think that it is going to go lower. I don't know about 800, but I do think that there's more pain, and I'm really concerned. Again, if you can see my chart over here in the lower left, the Bitcoin chart, it looks like a BART pattern. So if I come over here and where's my pen? I don't have my pen open. Yes, and get a small thing like that. So what you will tend to get, at least as of late, is, and it'll go right back to where it was, and it'll look like that. It might take a few days, but that's what we've been seeing lately. So yeah, I'm very skeptical of this little buy back up to 3,700. And of course, the other problem is that if we go, well, we can't go back much further, but we're already actually zoomed out really far. But we've kind of been in this range below 3,700 for quite some time, since the last real flush. So at the top of the range, pretty dangerous place to be buying. I can tell you that much. I can tell you that much. And they were starting to look weak there in 075, and they did tick up for a moment, but they didn't hold it. I wonder what's going to happen if they hit into 07 again. Market is awfully quiet, though. Awfully quiet. Italian banking shares jump on not so bad news from the ECB. This is CNBC. Oh, Cypric, did I see you on Apex the other day? Was that you? Or I seem to recall seeing that name in Apex, and I was like, oh yes, that's somebody I know. And I think we did okay that round. Mm. Yeah, so I want to read this here. Zero Hedge, 42 million reasons why Trump thinks Democrats' new open borders demand is quote-unquote crazy. EU's Barnier, UK PMA, has told us that she wants to work for a deal before March 29th. And then they added the tag for oil. I don't know why they're doing that, but okay. They seem to think that it is relevant to oil. And by the way, I'm just looking at my charts here, going across the board. I am noticing that the yen in particular came down quite a bit overnight, much more dramatically than the treasuries did. So I think that we could have some pretty strong downtrend forces today. And the problem is that the open was at 07, and so the market for the daily trend so far appears to be up. But if the pressure is down, then what we could see is that until we top off at the top, it could be very, very quiet and slow. Trevini Turbine Q3 net profit rupees versus 194 million, estimated 243 million. More from Barnier. UK PMA has told us that now we already heard that. It's just they are retweeting the same thing, probably because they did not intend to put something about oil at the end of it. I think. Okay, so IQ is long at 18. Cyprus, thanks to yet another China-related tweet headline, got a nice fill on the bund at 32 and dumped for a quick 3 ticks. Finally had one of those headlines go in my favor. I think I'm 4 for 5 getting shafted while in a position over the last 3 months. And well, I think any time really that a big news event like that comes out, you have to, like, even if it's in your favor, you get a few quick ticks and you got to take it off, and then it comes back on you, which is really annoying. More from Barnier. Irish backstop is not EU's view of future. Ties with Britain is just an insurance policy. I see. Hmm. Okay. Oh, okay. So Anthony, another message with a donation. Thank you very much. Below 2K, the market will collapse. As usual, I will follow my instinct. And crypto's 99% instinct, which BS, and 1% knowledge, which is BS too. I bet on both, so like that, I am sure to win sooner or later. Well, I do think that you might be right in that. I recall the last time that we had a real flush and the indicator was low was when we first touched 6K. And my indicator said that we were going to stop, or at least was giving a buy. I don't think that it's necessarily says that it's going to stop, but it was giving a buy much higher than that. And it went through it, which means that when we do get the buy, it doesn't mean that that price is like the right price. It's just that the timing is close, I guess, and you've got to wait for the bottoming in the next week or two. And so we could see something similar where we push below 2K and the market just really, it gets really upset, let's say. Yeah? Okay. EU's Barnier will not reopen Brexit deal. Sky News breaking. Sky News has seen a letter to Environment Secretary Michael Gove from the heads of more than 30 trade associations which say Britain's food industry is threatening to suspend cooperation with a series of government consultations until, quote-unquote, the catastrophic impact of a no-deal Brexit is resolved. And we had a strong push down there in the Treasuries on basically nothing. Well, that is interesting, but if it comes back to 07, I might want to take it short. Yes, Anthony says exactly. Yes, really, when you think about it, that 2000 level, once you get to 2000, 1000, you start to get some real, how do I put it? Some real chaos in the market, because you now have people starting to worry about if Bitcoin is ever going to go up ever again. I mean, they're going to make it hard to buy down there. It's really, when it comes, it's going to be, you're not going to want to do it, I think. But I do think that the time is getting close. So I was just, I've been mining this whole time, garlic coin, which is probably a complete waste of time. But I've almost reached my mining target in garlic coin. In about a month, I will have the amount of garlic coin that I intended to mine. And when I first calculated it, it seemed like it would take me 2 years. It's looking like it's going to take me a year and 6 months. And actually just a little bit to over a year, not even a year and 6 months. And a month seems to coincide with, that time period that we tend to really see the crypto market come down. So, it may matter, it may not, but it's just kind of a interesting confluence of events there in cryptocurrencies. And I don't think that this little pump at 3,700 is not a thing all on its own, you know what I mean? Like, that thing, oh my, that's always a setup of some sort. And I think that the setup might be lower. I think it might push us back down to 3,300. And then we may just continue to move sideways for a month or two. Well, maybe not for a month. I was saying a month that we might finally get a buy, right? So maybe move sideways for a couple of weeks, and then we get the big flush. The big flush. But I guess Anthony is also saying that he kind of is going on instinct that the time for it to finally break is close. Well, I'm a little disappointed that I really thought that we were going to come back up to maybe '09 and I could get a short. When they broke this, even at '06 half, I thought, well, okay, they could touch the low, but then, maybe they bounce off of that and it could stay range bound, or it could come back and then move lower. For it to just go straight through. And really, when I look at the cumulative deltas there, it doesn't look to me like a super wide participation in the market. You know what I mean? So they broke through 3,000 here, 1, and then a 4, and then a 2. So they are pushing through a lot of volume, but it's just that they're like doing it all at once. I think that this may have to come back on them. Let's see. I want to change my sound here. Open volume mixer. I want that sound from Chrome. Where's Chrome? It's not showing me. Anthony agrees with my comment there. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens, friend. I mean, obviously the timing is difficult, but so far we've been right on the overall direction and mood of the market. So, oh, now there's an iceberg at 04 half. This is maybe the first tick up there at 04 half and an iceberg that we've had. Well, it's a strong trend down. I don't know about this one. All right. Forex Live just pointing out that the North American calendar is light to start the week. Barnier, Prime Minister May does not intend to request an Article 50 extension. I wonder if it is this Barnier talking here that is pushing us down. Not quite sure why that would be. What is the euro doing? Nothing too interesting. No, don't get data for the bund after once this market starts. It doesn't print anymore. I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe I should just pay for the Eurex, but well, I think maybe we've got to take that one. I'm very skeptical of this. I'm not even sure that it's going to get up to that 07. This might be a quick 2 ticks, but we'll see. That was a real aggressive push down, kind of out of nowhere. I'm at the back of the queue too, by the way. Which I think kind of tells you something. Yeah, if I'm at the back of the queue, people aren't really stacking there at 04 half. That means that it could be a lure and that it is weak because people want to get filled. Hmm. There we go. Yes, it is a very quiet Monday, other than the Treasuries moving down so aggressively. It is a very quiet Monday. The E-mini has just been sitting there, not doing much of anything. So this sell in Treasuries really seems out of place to me. That could mean that it's a significant sell. Okay, so they did clear 04 half, and now we are seeing almost 9,000 traded on the bid. And they are holding a strong offer at 04 half, which is a little scary. They go for 04. That could be quite a, what do we say, purge? Would not be good. It would not be good, let's just say. Yep. Okay. Interesting that nobody is puking yet. Yeah. We need to get out of this. Oh my. Barney, there must be customs control on the island of Ireland. Is that how the squawk guy would say it? There must be customs control on the island of Ireland. Okay. Strong tick up. They bought over 3,900 there and stuck at a decent bid. If we go bid at 045, that might be hoping for too much though. Let's see what happens. Well, the 5-year is not too encouraging at the moment. It was really the 5-year really just dumped out of nowhere. The whole thing just kind of dumped out of nowhere. Perhaps it's just moving down because of the trade war news? Well, they are holding 2,000 there now. Stacking and pulling. I'm kind of toying around between 1,800 and 2,600 here on the bid. Now the 5-year is trying to tick down, but there's an iceberg at 21. And they're still holding 2,000 there. They may tick down here though. Feel encouraged by this bid here though. It should not be that strong. Okay. It's actually stacking here in the 5-year a little bit. Now it's almost equal in the 10-year. And the 30-year actually ticked up, and there is a very strong offer at 146.11. Just a zero hedge story. I'm not going to retweet that. Eurogroup's Centeno will review Italy at the end of spring. Economic slowdown caused mainly by political risks. And the British pound skimming the 100-day moving average level again. Well, now the 04 half is the weaker side, but it's still stacked about 2,000. And the 5-year is holding this 21 pretty well. And we're going to have to highlight this because, okay, so there's an uptick in the 10-year. This order right here, that seems critical. Oh yes, look at that. Okay, so I like what I'm seeing, so I'm going to try and take another contract if I can. I do think, though, that was a little early, wasn't I? Probably could have gotten 04. Would have been a little bit more comfortable right now. Eurogroup's Centeno, broad support for Lane's ECB appointment. Is that how you say that name? Centeno. Centeno. I think so. I think that's how you say it. I'm trying to enunciate here. I don't know if that like makes things better for you guys or not, but I'm trying to like read the tweets like really clearly. And maybe even a little British, but not quite with like, you know, the how do you say it? Like the way that the vowels are quite, you know, posh, you know. I don't think I do it as well as the squawk guy, unfortunately. And I'm trying to speak very quietly this morning too. I don't know what's the deal with that, but I guess it's such a quiet day. You know, outside it is snowing super, super hard, and maybe that's why it feels so quiet to me. Okay, so they were building a pretty strong bid at 04 half, and they pushed it back down, and the 5-year made that 21 quarter level go offer again. But that also means that we got filled. Good deal. Well, we're gonna have to keep an eye on this this level right here. I'm gonna move this to here. 06 was the overnight low. So if we come back up to that, there could be significant resistance at 06. Okay. The 5-year was able to make that go up, and the big offer at 11 is now gone. I believe that they moved up. And 11 is bid. So this again is another all of the things places that we were watching are up, but only just barely. So don't want to get too excited, because often in a situation like this you get it where you want to see a spot like 04 half go bid and stay bid, but then once they do, there is no more interest in taking it beyond that point. And the 5-year is not like the 21 half in the 5-year is not going weak yet. So we're still kind of in the danger zone, I guess. Like, it's good to have the edge, but okay, now 21 half is the weaker side. I actually flipped. The offer went weak in the 5-year, but the bid went weak in the 10-year and flipped over here. And the 30-year had 11 tick down again. Okay, now the bid is weak in both of these. Yep, they take it. And that 11 is stacking about 800 in the 30-year. The 30-year. 30. Those are very, very weak offers when they ticked down there. A decent amount has traded there at 04 half now. Okay, a tick up, and so it started out as a very weak bid, but then it came back up to an acceptable level. It looks like they might be able to hold 2,000 there. This 30-year doesn't look like a believer to me, though. Okay, almost. There you go, 2,000. Now the 11 is, well, they hit into it, so I guess that if they're going to get over that 11, they're just going to have to trade 1,000 to go through it. Well, that would be interesting, especially with 1,000 sitting on at 12. And a down tick. Well, I'll say it looked encouraging, but now I'm starting to get skeptical. Feel like that there is a lot of resistance above us. Yeah, tick up, weak bid, 5-year not going. Okay, 5-year went and it was even weaker. Okay, 500 on the bid, that's a little better. And then the 10-year down again, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I had this level at O5 listed as a yearly point of control from way back. There's a lot of history here in this area. Zero Hedge says, how often does Tim Cook speak to Kramer, and where are the 8K disclosing what is being said? Must be something that they talk about on CNBC that I'm not aware of because I don't watch them in the morning anymore. I used to get it through Thinkorswim, and then my work blocked the port that allows me to download updates to Thinkorswim, and so I can't get it. French financial minister, France and Germany to propose changes to the EU competition policy in the next few weeks after Alsom Simeon's case. Well, the 10 in the 30-year is now absorbing a decent amount. Although the problem is that the overall book in the 30-year still appears quite bearish. That could change very, very quickly. But it still appears bearish, even though the 10-year appears bullish. I think that I need to create a new 10-year ladder because my Vista chart, the absorption thing is still doesn't look right. And it's been like this all week, ever since I tried messing with it. So I think that it may just be a bug, and I'm wondering if I recreate it, if it would fix it. I've tried closing the chart and reopening it, and it doesn't fix it. So I think that I would need to create a whole new DOM to get it to like completely reload. Hmm. Now here on the other side, the equity market did move down a little bit from where we were talking about, but not significantly, and now it is appearing to turn around. So I think that this is not working. Oh my. 500 on the offer and it is not going. Hmm. It could be giving a double bottom signal here, but I think overall I really don't like the way that it's behaving at the moment. Just the fact that I'm 144th in line and I'm not getting filled on the offer, 04, is super scary. Yeah, and there they tried to take it down in the 5-year at 23 quarters. Yep. So that is something else. That is pretty strong trend. I thought that we could get maybe 2 out of it, or maybe even to the overnight low, and they didn't even give that. I don't even think I ever got a favorable tick out of that. Oh, wait, actually, it says that I did. It says that I did. It looks like I got like stopped out badly, so I think that I was supposed to only take -2 on it. I took -3 on it, which means that the stops hit at 03. It's still being awfully slow. I don't know. I can see the squawks over here making random tweets about stuff later in the week. They must be getting bored. And they're sitting there. Well, it's Monday, and nothing's happening. What should I do? I don't know. Let's tweet something to see if we can get our keep our Twitter followers engaged on a slow Monday. Yeah, this is pretty frustrating action because it is just so darned slow. Pretty strong trend, but so darn slow. In the meantime, let's try opening up another DOM. Big, make it the big one. Yeah. Okay, showing me that, and now if I pull this up, that is different. That is different, is it not? Okay. Oh, I have these snapshot columns on. I don't need those. Like, it's not the same size. Well, let's give this a little bit of room. Oh, Actually, I should do it like this. There. Okay, we'll close this one. And where's my ZN? Yes. Right there like that. Yes. And, oh, so now we'll see here. If I go into Auction Vista, so the flip, I'm using 5 snapshot levels and 10 snapshot levels, and market depth 32. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Well, I tell you what, it's down here and it's doing nothing again. Let's clear the DOM off. Paul Krugman warns U.S. wildly unprepared for imminent reset. You know what? Nobody cares what he thinks. The biggest the biggest hack of an economist ever thinks that there's an imminent recession. Well, okay. I wonder when he thinks that the recession is coming. In the next year? And is the U.S. wildly unprepared for an imminent recession? Because my take over the past 3 months is that the market was overly concerned about a recession, and they really went short, right? So I do not know if that is accurate, what he's saying there. Well, that is a strong uptick, I must say. And it looks like I'm finally going to get filled at 04. And I'm probably going to be unhappy about it. Yeah. Well, the 05 should not be going offer, so. The ZB really came up there, though, didn't they? They're right back to that 11 area. Hey, good morning, Dustin. Oh, the E-mini did move down there a little bit, didn't they? Okay. So the downtick, but not a strong offer in the 5-year did not go. See a little bit of a weakening in the 30-year, though. Seems like there's still some interest in selling it here. More than in buying it, at least. But nobody willing to really stack a ton on the offer? Ah, because it's not going through. Donald Trump. The Democrats are so self-righteous and angry. Loosen up and have some fun. The country is doing well. Yes, and the previous tweet, just 3 minutes prior, was Paul Krugman warns U.S. wildly unprepared for imminent recession, and Donald Trump is saying lighten up. Well, if we have a recession, Donald Trump is going to look awfully stupid. I mean, some would argue that he looks stupid all the time. Sometimes I think that he looks brilliant, and sometimes I'm kind of like, what the heck are you doing? But saying there's not a recession, okay. Well, they're built a stronger bid at 04. The 5-year did come back their decent amount. See how much they trade here at 20 3/4. Okay. So they're having an uptick now at 21. But the 30-year is not pushing. Curious. The E-mini is pushing down onto some of those support levels now. $10 minutes to the equities open. You're starting to get a lot of level 2 games here. It's flipping around a lot. Fair amount of flipping here. Seth, I'm just curious, what happens come tax time? So many people who are used to getting, say, a 1 to 2K refund are now owing money which they don't have, and or those who have to pay more are not prepared. That is going to affect the economy big time. Well, so I believe that is true, that if a lot of people are owing money instead of getting a refund as they expect, that would be a drag. Now, the thing is, every year around this time of year, I hear something around to the effect of people are going to get their tax returns, and that's going to help the economy, and that's going to be good. And I never really see anything that makes me certain that effect is really that strong, for starters. All right. So I don't know if it's like a large enough impact to worry about. Right. But the other thing is that we don't really know if more people are, how much of that is happening. Like, I know I'm seeing in the media that some people that is happening to, or it could potentially happen to you. But is it like the majority of people? Or is it like something where like maybe 5% of people that got a refund before aren't getting a refund this time, or they have to pay this time, and the media is just making like a big to-do about it when it's really not a large group of people? And I don't know of any way to actually quantify that, not until, like after everybody's paid. I will say, this weekend I went over mine, and I should have been withholding, I should have changed my withholding because I was withholding way too much. So I'm actually getting a larger refund than before, which shouldn't be happening. But yes, I can tell you, senior citizens here in New York who are used to getting a refund are now having to pay close to $5,000 to $6,000 and are living on Social Security due to the SALT deduction removal. Yeah, so that's another thing, is it's definitely the places where you're going to see the people that are either paying more or get screwed over on the refunds with their withholdings will be very liberal states that were getting very high SALT deductions. And it's typically going to be people that don't have any dependents. So I guess you could say that seniors could be one of those groups. But yeah. Goldman Sachs tweeting some analysis of WTI. Eat Sleep Skate says he made it in before the birds. This morning's going to be interesting. Well, we still got a good 30 minutes before they maybe wake up, but it is snowing crazy outside, and I don't know what they can do. I hope that my wife decides to wake up and snowblow the driveway. We fixed up that snowblower, and she knows how to use it now. Or will she do it, or will she sleep in and just drive down and leave ice on the road? I don't know. There's enough snow out there, though, that I wouldn't want to mess with it, so I wouldn't blame her if she doesn't. Like last week, what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday or so, was really bad here in Utah. And this one, from my initial impression, I don't have the numbers, but just from looking outside, this looks worse. That's a blue job. Yeah. Honestly, I should be the one. Let's all be honest. I should be the one snowblowing the driveway, right? Instead of sitting here losing money trading treasuries, I should be out snowblowing the yard. But that's how things turn out, so whatever. Adrian says, I'm lucky enough to live in Nevada, no state tax, but I'm a freelancer, so the government takes 24% of my income, even though I'm in the 12% tax bracket. Which means that you always get a pretty big tax refund. Interesting. I make my wife clean the cars while I do the snow blowing, then she can't complain. Just a skiff in Utah County. Yeah, well, I think that a lot of it is lake effect snow. Yeah, so this is coming back on us, man. Yeah. Did it take the 3 again? Well, this is just like the worst kind of action for me. Because now at 05, that should not be happening. Can I take it long, maybe? We'll see if there should be an iceberg here. Slow tax refunds may help consumer lenders in 1H. Jani says, translation, consumer spending set to slide. Yeah, I don't know. But this is just the thing, is that it seems like every tax season that people talk about that sort of a thing, and then I never see anything. Maybe it's just because I'm not paying attention, but I never see anything that makes me go, oh, okay. How come that didn't put stops in? Oh, I know why. I know why. Because I didn't have a strategy set. Okay. And now it's probably going to come back to 04. We'll see. That uptick, I think, was a significant change. Yeah, so do you see here, when I don't know why it doesn't do it in this one, but when I do it in this one and I give it 32 levels, it does not display correctly. Okay, here comes the E-mini. I guess I kind of forgot that equities were about to open. Well, the first little impulse was lower. Curious. Makes you wonder how many people are actually going to pay less taxes this year. Well, the estimates that I've seen do say that the overall tax burden on people is less, and the majority of people are paying less taxes. The problem is that there's going to be, basically, if you live in New York and you are above the median wage or whatever it is, it's not going to be good for you. In the liberal states, that SALT deduction is a big change, but it's one that honestly had to happen, and it'll be painful for some. But I think that everybody in the long run will be happier, because that means that those states are going to have to be a little bit more responsible with their money. How to cut taxes. Make the marginal income tax lower to make people think they are saving money, but mess them up in other places less obvious to the layman. Yes. But again, I don't know. It's impossible to know at this point, I think, how people are actually going to be affected. Like if the majority are paying more or less, or by how much, and etc. Walter Bloomberg. Top U.S. congressional negotiators on border security to meet later on Monday amid impasse in shutdown talks, says congressional aide. Whoop-de-doo. I've been reading headlines back and forth about whether or not a deal will be made by Thursday or not. And my take at this point is that the Democrats really don't give a fuck. And sorry to use that much language, but watching this kind of makes me a little bit frustrated, because the thing that I heard the other day was that they had some maybe potential deal on that would include some money for a border wall, but not as much as Donald Trump was asking. And then the deal fell apart because the Democrats said that ICE shouldn't be allowed to continue their reign of terror, or whatever the deal was. So it was basically like, we'll make a deal if ICE doesn't enforce the law anymore, which is just complete nonsense. Like, it boggles my mind that anybody, congressional negotiator, talking this over, would be making the point that ICE shouldn't do its job. And that is a person that is either woefully misinformed about how ICE operates, and let me explain to you why. So the way that ICE operates is an immigration court, for whatever reason, will give an order for you to show up in court, and then you go to court, and they make a ruling on whether or not you are, whether or not you can stay. And then if they say that you need to be deported, then you would. So like some of these stories that you see come up, they'll be like, they tried to deport this guy. Well, that would be a person that there's some question about their birth certificate or whatever the deal is, and then they go to court and they show their documentation, and the court would go, oh, okay, we got it wrong, and then that person wouldn't be deported, right? So so to be saying like ICE shouldn't do their job because really these are the people that ICE are, for you to even get an order in an immigration court, like something had to happen to prompt that, right? Which usually means that you broke the law somewhere, all right? And the vast majority of these people are, people involved in drugs, usually, right? So to just sit down and say that like ICE shouldn't do its job and we're not going to pass a bill unless we change something so that they can't do their job, I think is just absolutely ridiculous. And are Democrats really that out of whack with how the immigration system works? I don't believe so. I guess I can't really say for sure, but I'm just going to say I don't believe so. And so then the only conclusion that I can make is that they really don't want to make a deal. Because, really, they have to know that kind of a demand is just absolutely ridiculous and is never going to fly. So why would you make that kind of a demand unless you just really didn't want a deal to happen? So I don't think that a deal is going to happen. Anyways, well, maybe a deal will happen, but right now it appears like they don't really want one. So they are really tinkering around with the level 2, but for the moment the 04 half is starting to get a pretty strong bid. There's a lot at 05 as well, but they almost stacked to 4,000 at one point at 04 half, and that was kind of like the buy impulse, and it did not look very positive. So I think that the E-mini is going to turn down. The Democrat platform is nothing more than resist. They stand for nothing beyond that. Yeah. Well, I do think that there is very much like a reflexive reaction on the part of Democrats lately, that they're just doing whatever it is to oppose Donald Trump or the Republicans. But there is also very much that the many of the interests that are driving the Democrat Party are simply not in line with enforcing the nation's laws on border. It's just not. They really don't want the border to be enforced. They would rather we just have an open border. Like if Democrats could, if there was support to do it, if they, like, let's say that they had a 60% majority in the Senate and they had all the branches of government, they would pass an immigration law that puts absolutely no restriction on immigration and basically says anybody that wants to come into the country can come into the country, and that's it. Absolutely open borders, essentially. That's 100% what they want. Make no doubt about it. And if they had the power, that's 100% what they would be doing. The only reason that we are playing this game right now is because they don't have that power. And so they are doing everything that they can to kind of stand in the way and keep things vague so that if they ever do get power, they can do that. That's the way that you do it. So when you're out of power, you kind of you're playing defense, and so you try and prevent the other side from getting what they want and try and hold the gains that you've made. And then when you do get in power, you push more, just like in the market. When things are in your favor, then they push and they try and push hard, and they know that it's going to come back on them a little bit. And then when it's defense, the point is to prevent it from coming back too much so that it doesn't turn into a reversal, right? Man, well, so they've looked okay at 05, but then it goes offer again, and there's still 2,000 on the offer. Now the E-mini does look like it could go down for a little bit more, but it's not quite yet ready. It's still being kind of slow. Well, this is not the best spot for me. I think that move down was the move, and I was wrong. And now today, that was probably it for me. The left loves their slave labor. I hate to use that kind of language, but when I was, I think I've told you guys before that I served an LDS mission, and for a month when I was in Kansas City, I was with a Spanish speaking missionary, so everybody that we talked to was Spanish speaking, and I really liked everybody that I met, and I really liked learning to speak Spanish, and I felt that the situation for many of those people was absolutely unfair. Okay. Oh, the block buy was at 05 half. That is interesting. That would be another contract if I had it, but it's not going to happen, right? That was good. That was really good. And the E-mini is breaking down, which means that they could probably come down to 2706 now. Yeah, Dizzle's like, maybe you should just go shovel the snow. Well, if something bad happened here and this did end up being a negative trade, I would have to go do that. I think I would have to say, okay, it's not working today. But it does look like I finally caught one in my direction. By sheer random luck, I think. Ouch. It's not the best action for scalping, in my opinion. I mean, if you have an edge that tells you the spots and you're able to go along with the trend, then it would feel great. But the problem that makes me say that it's hard for scalping is that there's not a ton of two-way trade at the edges. So you can see, just look at the cumulative delta here. When we moved down, it took it in big steps. And then we kind of sat here and we did nothing. And there was not that much volume traded here. And then when we did move up, it was again up in steps. So it's not going to, it's not your best, it's not your best trade. Oh, we'll talk about politics. So anyways, the thing was the taxes, right? So I really don't know how to quantify the change, but I do know that some people are going to be unhappy. But anytime that you change taxes, there's going to be a group of people that are unhappy. You know what I mean? The politicians have to engineer it so that more people are happy than are unhappy, generally speaking. So when I see these news stories that kind of make a big deal out of, people are going to have to pay more taxes and this and that, I get a little bit skeptical, because if the majority of people were having that problem, then it would be really bad for the politicians, and they specifically try to engineer it so that doesn't happen. Little unsure here at 06. 06 was the overnight high, right? So here, 06 and 07, I'm a little might not happen. No. Oil tumbles to $51 a handle as dollar spikes into the green for 2019. Okay. So I kind of, I mean, I don't see it on my chart, but I do think that move down was currency related. I guess I see it in the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen was definitely taking a move down at the time, and you can see it in the euro too. So it looks like that move down was mostly currency related. Just surprised because when you do get those kinds of moves, there tends to be a lot of back and forth trade, but it was just all at once, you know? Correlations, I guess. But, you know, hard to catch. Enough is traded here at 06 that, you know, you could justify taking a profit. Just the way the E-mini is ticking, though, makes me think that we're going to go for more. Hey, Big Toasty. You're a little later today than normal. Is it going to do it? It looks like it wants to. They're eyeing it. Yeah. Well, we are above 11 in ZB, which was kind of like the key level, you know what I mean? I'm just looking back at when I took those trades to see if I'm reading things right. Okay, so that's a down tick. There is a little bit of buying there in the E-mini. Nothing trading into 05. This is where we need like Zerv to be that one guy that sells 050 just to screw up everyone's chart. Having a hard time reading the level 2 in ZB. I'm not sure I'm seeing a significant change or not. We are at towards the top of a range though. That is, I'm sure about that at least. Okay, so there the E-mini went a little bit lower. We didn't tick back up in the treasuries though. Well, I did see a little bit of offers pulling. There is the equities markets eyeing new low. Yeah. You just got to be careful that selling could be temporary. Like they could come back to this. Let's say 2706 area and find support there and bounce right off of it. I swear to God, 50 was holding. Made no sense to go higher. Crying, right? This whole thing has been right. I had one here, I think, and I took -2 on it, and it stopped me out actually for -3. And then it came down here, and I tried selling it, and I only got like one tick in my favor, and then it reversed, and now I've bought it. Now I have gotten 2 ticks out of this one because I got it from here to here, but it's being awfully slow, and the open is at '07, and I don't know if we're going to make it above that price. So even though I have a winner right now, I'm still feeling a little down on it. And like equities, look, they've gone lower. They've gone lower and lower. So you would think that I would get a higher high in the treasury market, and you haven't. You know, there's some real foreign exchange moves going on here, and when those happen, I guess we need to pay attention next time that's going on to see if they tick really easily or not. Because you're not getting a lot of two-way trade, and it's just so easy to get trapped, you know? Because if you go the wrong way, it's not going and saying, okay, we'll take a tick and then come back, and, you know, if you decide you're wrong, you can get out here and whatever. That's not happening. It's just it ticks up and it never looks back. So, well, Uzi is along from 12. I think 12 is an okay spot because that 11 was hard to get over, and so once we got above 12, although those ones make me a little nervous just because we know, you know, based off of that you have a little bit more risk on it, right? So that might explain why he's keeping it on a short leash. Yeah, see, this '06 level was the overnight low, and that's why they're having so much trouble at it, I think. Can you elaborate on how you saw 50 as a long trade? Good question. So when we came back up, I said I was short at '04, and I looked at the chart and I said, well, okay, if we're still in this strong downtrend, right? So we were down. It was like, can I move it? Yes. So we were like this, okay, right? I don't know if you can see that very well, but we were like this, and I said, okay, if we're in a strong downtrend, it shouldn't come back above this '05. So when I got stopped out at '05, I knew right away that I was wrong about something, and that's when I flipped. So I flipped, and then you got the block buy happened. And the thing about the block buy was that we were offer at '05. It went bid, so it was just a weak bid, and they immediately bought 5K at '05 half. So at that point, then I said, okay, well, I have to keep this, because that is, you know, oftentimes it'll be like, it'll go up and they'll sit there, and maybe this '05 will stack up a little bit and the '05 half isn't pulling, and then they'll do the block, right? And so that to me was a really strong indication of buying. Now, the problem with it, again, still, is that I don't have like the super great risk position, right? Like if I had taken it at 0.3 then I would be sitting pretty comfortably. When you get a block order like that, it's not unusual for them to try and push against it for 1 or 2 ticks. So we could potentially go back to 0.4 and it still wouldn't invalidate the trade. And then you get into 0.4 and then you're getting to where my stop is at that point, right? So it was a long, but the question is how long can you hold it for? I know that 0.5 is awfully balanced. I would expect it would be, given that there was a big block order there, but should we really not worry about the Fed's balance sheet, says Zero Hedge article. My ideal buy is at 0.8, but I may have missed that, or return to it might push through it. Yeah. Well, it seems to me like buyers are still have some control here. You can see that 0.6 goes off really easily. But again, 0.6 was the overnight low. So you'll see a little bit of trade. There's going to be some people taking it short there because they think once you get back to the overnight low that it should bounce off of it, or whatever the deal is. Although I would say we ticked lower, and now to be ticking back up into 0.6 is good. Okay, so if we see some ticking into 0.6, see, that's really good. Okay, so now they could make a shot for 0.7. Because they kind of retraced a little bit, and now they're back up there. I view that positively. And Ninja Trader crashed. Yep. Yep. Mm. Oh my gosh, guys. Ninja Trader sucks. Nice start into the week. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't look like I missed anything. Have they traded into 0.7 yet? They have. So in my mind, 0.7 is like the really big one, right? I don't like that seeing 0.6 week again. So could that be alluring though? Maybe. And when it went offer, they bought it back up pretty quickly, and there's a decent amount. You know, I think that maybe 1,000 could end up trading here. The E-mini is starting to look at more and more. I don't know. It's pretty wild over there. I don't think they've reached their target, though. You know what is confusing for me is the longer term products lagging behind the shorter term. I don't know if that's true per se. So the thing that I'm noticing here is that the 30-year moved up quite a bit more than the 10-year did. Not quite a bit, but by about a tick more. So the spread flattened by about a tick. When you look at it. And ZB was as high as 17 at one point. Now that it's back to 14, 13, 14 is there was a zipper there, which could act as support. But you got to be careful because this could be a pullback, right? Like, especially if the E-mini comes back to like 26 and starts doing like some bouncing action type of action, you know? Okay, so here's equities looking like they're gonna go for another push. No, Treasuries not acting correctly. And they pushed up a little bit, in fact. I mean, before I was short in the 50 and the 10-year, the 30-year was trading lower. 10-year didn't go. 10-year breaks through 50, 5.5 and 6, but the 30-year mostly stayed within that bottom range. Not quite sure I follow. A decent amount absorbing into 06. Equities did have a pretty strong buy there. I don't know if they're going to make a new swing high. I went offer. All I can see, the only thing that I'm seeing is this, right? Slight curve, flattening. But only on this side, not on this side. Only between the 10 and the 30, not the 5 and the 10. Okay. Good uptick. Good follow through. Equity is still pushing higher though. In fact, right equaling the previous swing high. You gotta be careful with new higher highs and lower lows and whatnot in equities though, because they very often play with you. Excuse me. Stretch it. Okay. So it did kind of, they made a slightly higher high and now they're pushing lower again. Let's see if they make a higher low or not. Okay. Well, that low is in their sights, and the move down is much stronger than the move up was. Oh yeah, they're definitely going to go through it. Don't play with me. You know you're going to do it. Would be highly unusual for it to fall that quickly and just stop there. Would definitely be. Especially right there. Frustrating me. Oh man. Just as fast back up though. Probably a little bit of a liquidity vacuum here. That bid there in the E-mini looks kind of insistent. Somebody filled him. Treasuries don't seem to be reacting too negatively to buying pressure in the ES. Yeah, but I think the problem is that the currency's driver in the treasuries appears to be a larger factor at the moment, or today in general. I don't know about in the moment, but we had to push a little bit higher, and now we'll pull back again. We'll see if they continue to hold this pattern and treasuries eventually push higher or not. But I can just say we've been in this now for about 30 minutes and we've only gotten 2 ticks out of it. That's not super what is the word? Super encouraging. There is definitely some shenanigans going on in the E-mini though. Buyers really decided to hold it, buy it up there. Let's see how quickly it falls when it falls. Yeah. This is not behaving correctly. So see here in the 5-year at 21 3/4. I don't know about what my probability is for us to continue to go up or to reverse, but I'm just saying that there's some sort of a spot here. I hear happy bird noises, but I don't think that they're actually up. Okay, so that was a downtick. The 10-year handled that okay. E-mini falling again. It's interesting. And not pushing as far again. Buyers there. Oil. Oops. Killed my gas. So oil is moving up. Oil making a really strong move. Yeah, you see here in the 5 year. You see what I'm seeing? Yoop. Yoop. Is it going to do it again? I don't know. Look at that. I'm 161 in the line. No fill. Okay, let me out. Let me out before they went down. Okay. Last week I got stuck at number 4 in line in your trade, and as the market moved away, I said fuck it and went off and did something else. Yeah, that would be pretty tilting. I'd have to say equities are holding that low really well. A little bit too well. I'm wondering if they're going to go down and push it at some point. And this right here, the flip volume thing, it doesn't look right to me. That's kind of almost like you're not actually really seeing people hold positions. Yeah, you can see them do it in equities, but they're fighting it. You got to change the settings in the main window and on the auction vista window. I'm not sure what you mean. Well, I think that it's the way that it is because it's just not a huge change. Okay, now equities look like maybe they're going to go for it. But the treasuries are already quite a bit lower. Bring up on my main window the settings. And then you go into Auction Vista, right? And you say flip. And I have it doing the inside 5 levels, which is what I want to see. There's my wife coming down the stairs. It's 8:15, so they're a little behind. Like, that's correct, I think. Oh, man. Couple traded into 04 half there now. Well, me getting 06 seems super doubtful now. But equities did not, once again, they probed it and they didn't go. I think that they have to do it. Change that number to 32. All right, I'll show you at 32. 32. The snapshot depth setting in the main window needs to be 32. Maybe you're onto something. Yes, you are. So they have to be the same. The dogs, yeah, right. So are you saying if I want this to be 5 and I want this yeah, flip to be 5? Like that. Yeah. And change both of them to 5. So was that the way that I have it in these other ones? I have snapshot depth 10. I do. And I have flip is 5, but it's probably actually 10. So I wonder what's with that. Okay. So notice when they ticked into that there was actually 7K offered at 06. See, it's 71. Get rid of this. I don't know what that's there for. Oh, that was just from the one. Okay. Ticked it down again, 71. And that's more than you would normally see at that spot. So why is the snapshot? Why are they? I guess they must be using the same code that captures the snapshot for the Vista, but then they should be controlled by like the same variable, you know? I'm going to have to read the documentation on that and see if they actually say anything that would lead you to, like, how did you know that? How did you know that, Uzi? Yeah, although for the snapshot, it won't let me show more than 10. Parameters tell the depth how much you see X, and flip tells you how much of X you want on the chart. I see. But I like to see just what the inside amount is doing. So the inside amount is telling me that the stacking at 060 is bearish. And the offers in the 5-year are bearish. And in the 10-year, it's maybe just barely gone bearish. Oh, yeah. So you'd be at parameters equals 10 and flip equals 5. Yes. Or parameters 5 and flip 5, right? Yeah, I got you. Okay, so how come I'm not getting the sound anymore? It says it's enabled. Maybe it's because I didn't click over here. Ireland's Philip Lane to become Eurozone's next chief economist. Nominated by Eurozone financial ministers to the next ECB chief economist after Prayit. I don't know who that is. I have to look him up. Okay, so that bid at 04F is not pulling. UK sending aircraft carrier to China in show of force. For this trade to work, I think that you're going to have to see the 30-year, the bottom fall out of the 30-year here. So they got some bids at 14 and 13 that we would probably need to see pull in order for this to go red. I don't know. I thought the equities were going to fall a little bit lower and try and get these single prints down here. There's some single prints down in here. I even have some areas of interest marked from last session, right? You can see they're not, they've held this many times. And this 06 is stacking even higher now, by the way. It might give me an opportunity here to pull a tick. Okay. E-mini going for it now. Stopping just short again. Good grief. Just do it. Come on. There you go. Wow. Wow. Wish that I had gotten filled at 05. Because I would not mind selling that, but I've already got 2 on. So they did go to the single prints. There's one more at 2706. The UK and show of force don't belong in the same sentence. That's kind of a weird move to me. As in, like, I'm not quite sure what would prompt that. East Libya's LNA aims to hand over El Sharia to Tripoli-based state oil firm. NOC, says commander. Should have stuck with it. Oh, you're long. Oh, because the ZB did go higher, didn't it? I don't know. That guy at '06 didn't step out of the way. There is the target, so it's hard for me to say that there's more in it. But the way this is trading today, oh right, you only took the one. Yeah, I probably should have taken more than that. I mean, for me in ZB, I think you want to take at least 4. If you're catching noise, you can catch 4. So I'm worried that the E-mini is going to push back aggressively here now, or could potentially push back aggressively. And if they do, the E-mini might, or sorry, the Treasuries might come back quickly because there is some sell pressure here. And really, it was almost like, I think that guy at '06 that was selling, I think he's happy. Yeah, I get you. The emotions are always, especially on a day like this is where the emotions will really mess with you, you know? Hmm. Hmm. See, like, this is curious. It continues to flatten. And even though we've seen us, we did move up and we made a higher swing high in ZB, but we are just a little bit short in the 10 and the 5 year. And I'm still seeing a little bit, well, okay, so these all went blue here. But here in the 5 year in particular, I'm still seeing some bearish looking volume. Can you see that out this bid that was below us actually kind of pulled a little bit, in fact? I wonder if that means that some of this move up was stops. If they were getting stopped out, then their targets would disappear. Know what that means? Yeah. ZB, honestly, ZB really went too far, frankly. Man. Is ZB going to take out the high? Well, where is my... Okay. So they moved for a little bit of a lower low, and then they really pushed back that time, I think. You got to see some change in the cumulative delta, but U.S. investors bought half of a Gazprom Eurobond, says J.P. Morgan. And the Zero Hedges comment is, and were quickly fast-tracked into Mueller's probe. How long of a time frame is the bull bear zone valid for? I don't think that it goes away. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's, we've seen some interesting things, but The block buy at 05 and then further push up was definitely a signal that was good, but it died off really quickly. Well, I take that back. I was in it for 40 minutes, wasn't it? Wasn't I? I guess I gave up on that one a little too quick. You know, I should have taken the profit on that one. U.S. angers China after sailing two warships close to disputed South China Sea islands. The lack of trade bubbles in the ES is weird. Well, it's getting one right here. I think they might go through this one. Yeah, and as soon as I say that. So that is why the British are sending one of their warships over. So South China Sea tensions rising would tend to be bullish for treasuries, but it seems like whenever it's China involved, it tends to be bearish, or maybe it's bearish. That one we're still not sure on. It's just a theory. Treasuries appear bullish. Could be reversing, although they're having a little bit of trouble here. That should clear trades up, by the way, so that I can see. Okay. Still pushing up. And the 5-year looks like it's trying to make a push down, but I don't think the 5-year the 10-year agrees. Resistance on the 30-minute coincides with the bull bear zone 2223. Yes. Okay. So the ES is pushing through some resistance. There was some support at 2706, but now I'm seeing a little bit of resistance between 2709 and 2712. And they ran into a couple of bubbles there, but they did push through them a little bit. And now they're coming back. We'll see if they decide that they're going to push up again. But the treasuries did tick down a tick. And they're still having trouble with the opening price. Oh, what? 43. That's quite a stack. USD JPY slows its rise for a bit. Forex Live, yeah. I don't know. They're kind of looking like they're eyeing another push in the yen, but you have to wonder if they could really make a new. Well, on my chart, it's a new low, so they're doing it by the dollar. Mine's the other way around. Mine has the yen first. Okay. Man, you hear my stomach making that weird noise? They're eyeing it in ES for sure. They're eyeing it, but I think that they would need to make a push. Zero Hedge. Kyle Bass warns Trump, don't take the easy way out with China. Okay, well, there was almost 4,000 bid at 26.5, and now it is pulled. And now 866 have traded into it. But it is kind of turning. And the E-mini is 2 ticks off of the high. Friday's range in ZB was 13. The current range is also 13. How much expansion can be anticipated? Is it? It's weird for my stomach to be doing this, so you can kind of hear like stuff coming out of my stomach or something. It's so weird. So weird. I don't think that should be happening. They can make another push up in the E-mini. There's another good uptick. Oh, yes. Very good. Now they're going to step up to the high. Yeah. Okay. New high. 4K iceberg. Not a strong offer at 06.5. Well, I mean, it's kind of doing what I thought it would, but the treasuries continue to be uncooperative today. Very uncooperative. Well, L6 half went offer again for a moment. Oh, I didn't even realize that it's 8:45. So I should point out, I guess I gotta get going here in a bit. I want to see this if it turns around or not. I might have done things a little bit differently if I had realized what time it was, though, because things tend to not move a whole lot at this particular time. And it's very often that I'll sit in a trade for a long, long time waiting for something to happen, like for it to come back here, and then it never happens. And I have to say, I would expect that O6 to not be so stubborn. But I guess, you need to build a big offer first, which they don't want to do. Although the 5-year is looking a little more promising. Today we've got 117. Mm. Okay, well, I'm going to start typing my notes in here. Just want to point out, I do have a video that just got published that you guys can watch here when we're done if you want to hear me yap about the primary race for the Democrats. And yeah, pretty bad day, I'd say, for me. And yeah, this has just been a really hard market, but we'll see what it does here. All right, so I'm gonna post. Okay, well, that looks a little bit more encouraging. Like equities would have to make it above, like, what, 27.15? I don't think I have that much time. I think that if it comes back here, I just gotta... Oops. I need to change that back to auto. If it comes back, I have to just take it off, unfortunately. Resume of the day: saw one potential trade, didn't take it, would have gotten 4 takes out of it. Second trade, I take it, takes too long, scratch, goes 2 ticks in my favor. Third trade, I take it, decide to hold and be patient, goes 2 ticks against me. I mean, I'm not even mad, I am laughing. Yes. It's like impossible. Well, I don't know how you trade this. This is weird. This is a very different action from what I'm used to. And it's kind of meandering. I think that I probably 4 trades for today was probably too much. But the whole thing is just not, well, I mean, there was a block sell at 06, so could see them trade into 05 half again. Could see them revisit the lows. E-mini's moving down again. It's odd too, the correlation between the E-mini and the Treasury is not very reliable at the moment. Like, the E-mini is pushing down again and the Treasury is back a tick, you know? I'm glad at least that in your opinion this is weird action and I'm not doing everything wrong in good action, Seth. Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the thing. And this is where I get into kind of like the thing, like, today we knew that it was probably going to be pretty slow. But then we had that huge rush down at the beginning, kind of said to us, okay, there's some stuff going on, and now you don't know if it's going to keep going lower or what it's going to do, you know? I very much thought at one point that they were going to make another push lower, and they didn't. You know, they reversed on us. And that move lower was very quick. I mean, it was probably currencies. It's my guess. Just looking at the charts, I think it was currencies. So, like, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just very range bound and difficult to know at any one point if you have a high probability of it going one direction or the other. And so there's that. And then on top of it, there was a move. So it makes you want to take the trades, even though there ends up not really actually being anything. ES is kind of being a little bit of a meat grinder now. I think they're holding these levels pretty well. I think the ES is going to try and move higher. But man, I don't know. I think at some point they're going to have to test that 27.25.50 in the E-mini. TD Ameritrade, January average daily trades 871,000 versus 980,000 year over year. So there has been less trading this January than last January. Yes, that seems to be in line with what we have seen, isn't it? We got a couple of good trades in January and we did okay, but not quite as well as last year. And now, here towards the end of January, things have really slowed down. Hmm. A little bit of funniness in the level 2 there. It pulled to 15 and then almost immediately stacked back up to 2. A little bit of buying in there in the E-mini though. Well, gonna have to keep this in mind for tomorrow, right? Because tomorrow could be very similar. It may do some things. It may give us a move that surprises, but then become really range bound again. And if we're doing that, then we really gotta fade it. You've really gotta wait for a really good spot. So hard. Or just not trade. You can even look at my my level, my stacking and pulling thing in the 10-year. Red, blue, red, little bit of blue, you know. So it's flipping back and forth a lot, and it's giving me very unclear readings. $43. Bunch of small orders that hit that too. Okay, I need to. I really want to see this go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the last little things I got to do before we go out the door, and come back and hopefully it has gone down. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty. Yeah. Federal Reserve's Bowman doesn't discuss monetary policy or the economy in prepared remarks. Donald Trump will be heading to El Paso very soon. Big speech on border security and much else tonight. Tremendous crowd. See you later. Okay, well, now I really have to go, so we're going to move that up. Hopefully they give it to us. It is a very uncooperative. It's almost as uncooperative as it gets, I think. New York Fed survey 1 and 3 year inflation expectations remain steady. E-mini is holding okay. I think that we may eventually get a push lower in treasuries. I think it may eventually happen. That they are not able to get over 07, I think, is significant to me. Come on. Get it over with. So they're hitting into 06 again. And there's another iceberg there. And then they push back at 06 half. And tick up and pretty strong bid at 06 half. I think that they are going to stop me out. Equities look a little weak. Yeah. Let's just end the misery. Alright guys, well, I would love to sit and commiserate about how awful of a day today was. It was a pretty bad day for me, and I should not have taken 3 trades. Or, well, like these two. I probably should have only been putting on 1 contract because it's a Monday. So I think that there was a mistake made there, but then these, I shouldn't have been getting stopped out -3. But that was just how, the way that it was ticking. This one I should have taken more on it. So if these were both -2 and then this was -4 and then this one was -2, then I would have come out overall for the day -2, but instead I came out -8, which is really shitty. So yeah, really bad day. But bad action. Would probably have some good moves on Wednesday and Thursday. Anyways, check out my video. Hope is the worst enemy. Yeah, well, I didn't think, the thing that I was really relying on was the 07. And that trade was overall wrong. So, it's interesting that they had such a hard time getting filled. Like any time that I thought that it was finally gonna go, and they didn't do it. But as far as you know, is there any risk in sharing my account number? Well, yeah, you don't want people to see your account number. You don't want to give anybody information that they don't have to have. You know? Yeah, I don't know if the whole thing was that they were having a hard time getting over at 07, so that was really the trade there. But when I took it, I thought, okay, they could maybe go to 07, but here's 06, they're having a hard time, so I took it there. So like the spot was wrong for starters, but then it did never go up. I don't think that there's any real trades here. I think that it really shouldn't have been, or if I was taking a trade, it should have only been doing it on one contract. So anyways, I've gone way too far. I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, unlike myself, stay